Thank you to my evaluator for introducing me, Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and much welcome guests. Tonight, I'm talking about the finish line of my DTM project. What is a DTM project? Well, in Pathways, you have to do one incomplete path. Then you have to do 3 levels of a different path, which opens the door to this project. You're supposed to do a project that's meaningful to you and something that will be a legacy for you. You can create a successor for it, and the project should live beyond you. I thought about, what could I do this project on? I had just become an empty nester. I was missing my kiddos, so I thought, let's do something where I get my kid fix, and I love music. Well, CCSD decided to really slash the budget of my kid's old band teacher. So I thought, you know what? I will create a volunteer position as a band aide. So what did my project involve? I built libraries for her. Basically, music goes into a packet, and it has for every instrument, so that they can all play together, they have music in there that correlates. And then the instructor has a score, or it lists everything. So they had thousands of pieces of music that were just scattered all over. And I made calm in the chaos. They went on a trip to California. Do you know how much work that is? I had to get buses, hotels, make sure the kids were fed, make sure they had all their equipment with them. Then we had the biggest fundraiser of the year, which is a competition at their school. I was renting equipment I'd never seen in my life. There were light towers, porta potties. I was telling parents where they needed to go in the parking lot to let people in and out, tell the kids where they're supposed to be, direct other bands. It was pretty intense. Then concert season comes, so they go from their marching band attire to their formal wear, and each class had different attire. So some would have a bow tie and a cummerbund, some would have a vest and a jacket. I had to figure out what classes had what, get them everything inventoried, buy samples, get the kids fitted, get payments, get them all their equipment. I had to do concession stands, make sure our concession stand for the football season was stocked. Prop repair. I didn't know I could fix anything until this year. Brought my drill and a can-do attitude, and I fixed a few things. Then one of our merchants, who was supposed to wrap our trailer, basically stole our trailer and held it hostage. I had never taken, you know how you get the GPS marker on a photo? I went to his house and I found it. Then I got the district involved and got our trailer back. This is one of my prized projects. This is one of the libraries I was talking about. And to the left is what it looked like before. Nothing had spines on it to tell you what the piece was. So you had to individually pull out things to figure out what piece of music it was. Do you think the kids were very patient with that system? They would just say, oh, S is 2 rows. This SE probably goes here, and just shove it on there. So things were very chaotic, and she could never find pieces of music. So I went in, I organized it, and if you'll notice, everyone has a spine label on it. So now you can read it like a book and say, okay, this is this piece by this composer. I did other projects, such as they had a commercial for Ford. They said, I think the mascot for Ford is a medium. You need 2 uniforms, go, and it better fit. Okay, I come around now. It fit, one of them fit. I was so excited. Then banners. we're always trying to look for ways to fundraise to give these kids money to go on those California trips or the things that are really expensive. We came up with a banner program. So I came up with how much we should charge businesses to advertise on our fence. Then I had to go to the banner companies, do the artwork and negotiate the terms. I was actually the one who hung all the banners up. And then we gave the kids the difference of what it costs versus putting it up. That's one of the inventory closets. That was a nightmare. It looked like somebody just threw up concert gear. Who was my team? My team was the band director. And what was great about her is she was a whole lot of artistic and very little organizational, as where I was a whole lot of organizational, a little bit of artsy. I've kind of learned in business that really helps if you are strong where somebody else is weak, because you can really get something done if you both are strong at different points. They hired a band director's aide in the middle of the year. She was overwhelmed and she said, "Can you train this person?" "I got you." I trained the band aide in 1 week. She fit in seamlessly. I had to work with the principal to get qualifications to be on campus. They don't just let anybody in. They have to make sure that you're not a sexual predator or some freak who's on the campus during the day. So I had to get fingerprinted, background check. That was 6 to 8 weeks, and I had to work with CSD for that. I worked with the students. I gave them projects they needed to do. They came to me for things that they needed. I loved working with the students. I worked with the banner companies, like I said, to do the artwork and do all that. Band parents, I had to tell them where to go, how to be best help to their kids. I enjoyed that as well. And then companies that I had to contact, I had to get bids for a lot of stuff. Didn't really enjoy that, but it is what it is. In the end, I volunteered 348.55 hours, which is 44 8-hour days. Primarily, it was those libraries that we talked about, just the dark in the dungeon, get it done, things that she fantasized about being done one day that she could never have the time to do because she was so busy investing in getting the kids the knowledge that they needed in music. My favorite and least favorite parts, obviously, organizational freak. I enjoy that very much. Very satisfying to watch everything kind of coming together and getting cleaned up. I enjoyed working with the students. Like I said, I got my kid fix. Good to go. I love problem solving. Give me a puzzle, just engages my mind. I love that. My least favorite, asking people for money, fundraising. If I had to work on commission, I would starve. And delegating. I kind of like being in control of things. So asking people is just really hard for me. Lessons learned. When she would ask me to do something, I would try to go over the top. She asked me to find hotels where they were going to be staying in California. I gave her a spreadsheet with 30. I called every group sales. I was like, it's this many miles from the school and they have this and that, and here's the price and who I spoke to. I learned, just ask her what we did last year and then get 5 others and give her my top 3, here's why. And let her pick and give me a route to go and start setting it up to get paid for. Identifying problems that really weren't on the scope of my job. For example, the kids did a lot of performances. So she would say, you have to eat and be on stage in 20 minutes. And then I would see the kids in a 30-minute food line. So I was like, you're in band, come with me. You're in band, come with me. You're in band, come with me. So I would take them to the front of the line to get their food so that they could be in their spot in 20 minutes. So it was just me looking for other things. Delegation. As I said, I'm not good with it, but in leadership, you've come to find out how important delegation is and how necessary it is. So it just kept getting compounded in my mind. You need to delegate. You cannot do everything by yourself. In summary, I enjoyed this project very much, and I made it possible to have a successor in, because now the teacher, her biggest thing, which she would always say, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know what I can count on people to do. because she never gave it to anybody else. Now she's had somebody who doesn't have any teaching experience or music experience. I do have a little bit of music experience, but not in that realm. But she knows that she can count on outsiders to come and help and what to count on them for. Mr. Toastmaster.